Now, the excitement is building, not really, but President Joe Biden is going to make an address to his nation tomorrow morning. That's Thursday night, US time. And he's going to talk about the pandemic response. It's 1 year on since the first major lockdowns happened in America, and he's just got his big stimulus package through Congress, and the vaccine rollout is going well. So he's got plenty to talk about. Joe Biden will address the nation, he will read a prepared script, and he'll claim credit for getting on top of the situation. When in truth, of course, all the key developments in vaccine development and logistics occurred under the previous administration. Still, good on him. He's in the White House now, and it's all going smoothly. Let's hope it keeps going that way for the sake of all of the residents of the United States. But the one thing that Biden is that all his appearances, if you've been watching closely, are very staged, very stilted. They're choreographed, and they're all scripted. And I have perhaps unkindly described this as the sort of Bernie's weekend presidency. But seriously, is it good enough to have this sort of weekend at Bernie's presidency going on, where they roll him out, get him to read the speech, and then they roll him off again? Now, sure, Donald Trump, he never shut up. There was incessant tweeting, there were long speeches that ran off script, and there were endless rambling press conferences. But Biden, well, have a look at his latest appearance. It was to update the vaccine rollout program. These events have the look of a hostage video, don't they? A proof of life video as he takes the lectern, speaking to an imaginary audience and reading from the script. None of it's convincing, let alone inspiring. But I'm going to show you the end of this particular event. It was only yesterday. And I'm going to be very fair and let it run so that you can see he does actually, off the cuff, answer one of the questions shouted out to him.
Thank you, and we're going to do this. We're going to get it done. Thank you.
Mr. President, what are you going to do with the surplus? What will you do with the surplus? Mr. President, when will you do a press conference?
The surplus will, if we have a surplus, we're going to share it with the rest of the world. We've already decided we're going to work with the outfit COVAX. We've committed $4 billion to help get the funding for more vaccines around the world. This is not something that can be stopped by a fence, no matter how high you build a fence or a wall. So we're not going to be ultimately safe until the world is safe. And so we're going to start off making sure Americans are taken care of first, but we're then going to try to help the rest of the world. Thank you.
Is there a price that
Republicans voted for?
OK, he answered one of the questions well enough, or one that maybe he wanted to hear. But did you hear one of the questions that was yelled out there? A reporter asked, when are you going to have a press conference? Good question. You know, the leader of the free world answering a few questions from the media on behalf of the public. How long do you think since President Biden has done a press conference as president? What do you reckon? Perhaps he's done a couple or three. I mean, he was sworn in on January the 20th. He has done none. Not one press conference as president. He hid in his basement for much of the campaign, and tomorrow will be his 50th day as president without submitting to a press conference. To give you a comparison, I just checked today, in that time, over that same period, our Prime Minister has held at least 26 press conferences, at least. And he's done an even higher number of separate radio and television interviews. Now, we're different here in Australia, of course, more open, more robust with this stuff. But remember when the US media used to attack Donald Trump because he tangled with reporters and called out their bias? Time and again at press conference after press conference. They complained he did too many. Well, now the US journalists are treated like mushrooms, the US public treated like mugs. And the media, they don't complain, they just suck it up. I don't care if you're a mad, keen MAGA person who thinks the election was stolen, or a rusted-on Democrat who thinks Joe Biden has saved the US from ruin. Whoever you are and whatever your politics, a president who will not front up is a big worry. In my view, Donald Trump trashed democracy by not conceding defeat, not offering his losers consent. But in these first 50 days, Biden is having a lend of democracy, letting it wither on the vine by refusing to engage in a two-way conversation and open himself up to some testing and accountability.